Today we return to our lone tribal pawn, Mongoose, as she struggles to survive in her new rainforest home. Join us as Mongoose continues to work on our base, begins to set up our long-term food stores, and possibly crafts herself some better clothing. Hey everybody, this is Mim, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 5 of my Up in Smoke series featuring the colony builder and story generator Rimworld. In this episode, we are just kind of free playing, doing some of the small little stuff that needs to be done at this stage of the game, while hoping for some good luck during a raid or other circumstance that might leave us with a colonist to join Mongoose, because we are still extremely vulnerable as a single pawn in a harsh new world. If you are interested in following this series and haven't already, subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications whenever a new video is uploaded. Otherwise, thanks for checking out this video and enjoy our struggle to survive. And with that, I thought I'd just give a really quick overview of some of the things we have queued up to take care of. We have a whole bunch of just basic wood traps we want to set up just to maybe give us a fighting chance if we have a raid that goes really wrong and we have no other option. We do have a couple of more crops in. This would be a cornfield, which would be a massive amount of food once it's finally harvested. We have planted a smokeleaf, a little bit of extra heel root, and some psychoid plant. This plant in particular is a super useful drug. You brew it with cooking skill, and I believe you can even make it over a campfire if I'm not mistaken. And it's a very, very good item. One of the best drugs in the game. It isn't very addictive, so if you use it correctly, your pawns won't get addicted to it, and it is a nice little thing that they can carry on their in their inventories. And if you have a raid, you have them drink it, and it gives them a little bit of boost to their how awake they are, so they feel like it's sort of like taking a little jolt of espresso or something, if you want to think of it that way. A little shot of espresso, but otherwise gives them a little bit of a pain shock threshold improvement, if I'm not mistaken, and it gives them a mood buff. So these guys, Mongoose, once we have more people here, hopefully if we survive that long, we will be able to brew some of this, and they'll be able to have it in their inventories. So that's part of what we've set up so far. A couple other things we're looking to do here. Now we've got this sort of great room set up where eventually we could make this into kind of a workshop or just a dining room, rec room. That's more what it really is, but in the short term it could be a workshop area as well. We do have a little crafting area in there just for the time being. We have a kitchen all set up. It's nice and clean with this this wood flooring. We have a separate butcher area, just very minimal, the kind of like the absolute minimal space you could maybe do. I mean, you could do smaller, but this is sort of like the minimal functional space, I think, and still it's almost it's too small. But this is something that's a more temporary setup, as with anything you're building out of wood can be very quickly changed or redone different ways, but this is sort of what we have going on here. Of course, we were going to use this eventually as a granary. This is sort of working as our bedroom for the time being, but ultimately I want to move all this stuff out of here, and this could continue to be our bedroom, but we do need at a certain point here to be thinking of how are we going to deal with a prisoner. We could just put like a little spot on the ground for a prisoner to lay and have this room, but it's very easy for them to escape. But ultimately, Mongoose really needs to capture somebody and get a prisoner and recruit them, or some other way of getting somebody, because we are, as a single pawn, it's just way too much of a risk. The other thing, I did set a work order for all these berry bushes to be harvested. They're all mature and ready. So this is going to be about 150 berries when it's all said and done, and that is essentially 15 meals, which is great. And they have a shelf life of approximately 14 days, which is a really long time, in fact. And you can see we already have a good amount of rice on hand, 16 meals worth, and it has a shelf life of 40 days, and we just harvested it, so it's going to be good for a really long time. We've already have 5 simple meals on hand, so our food situation is looking great. These don't spoil for another almost 3 days, so that's why I have everything restricted right now, including this little guy here who went manhunter, if I'm not mistaken, and triggered one of our traps. I think it was this one, and so now we have I think these guys, how much meat is it? Yeah, like up to 60 almost. 6 meals, so we'll at least get 5 meals out of this guy, almost certainly. So for the short term, I mean, and intermediate term, we're good on food. Ultimately, like once our cooking skill allows it, we want to start making fine meals, and also definitely pemmican. We want to set aside some pemmican for long-term food storage, because this game can throw a lot at you as far as like things that can disrupt the growing season, and just stuff that can throw you for a loop if you're not really getting ahead of it. Oops, I didn't notice there was a little bit of fertile. I might as well do that. And this rice, once this rice that's currently in here is harvested, I will convert this field probably all to some kind of a cloth. We don't know how to do devil strand yet. Do we know how to even do cotton? Darn, I don't think we do. Oh, we do know how to do cotton. So at the very least, I mean, cotton could be useful. We might want to do it because if we have simple clothing unlocked, then we can make backpacks. But that's a kind of a situational thing. So we'll decide when this rice comes in. It'll be quick though, so I don't think we'll be ready for to do that quite yet. We are going to put a little game of board in here. I will talk about this in a different video. It's a very cool little game. There's a nice YouTube video of it by the British Museum. But yeah, so you know, like we have another little source of recreation here. Ultimately, we do need to build a research bench too, because we want to unlock some of these things that are vital. But as a single pawn, I mean, we just have too much other stuff to do before we're focusing on that. Kind of finally, you know, as we're harvesting berries and building these traps and maybe moving a couple things around that I did off, you know, when I wasn't recording, sort of off camera. As we're doing all those things, ultimately, when we kind of consume this little bit of meat here, this little guy, we'll eventually start to kill these alpacas. I mentioned this in the previous video, and ultimately, hopefully they'll give us enough leather to make a suit of tribal wear, which will get rid of our tattered apparel debuff, which, if I'm not mistaken, is -5, kind of a rough debuff. So I'm going to unpause the game, and I think I have the settings correct, where I was having a little bit of issue with it looked a little bit like it was dropping frames from my perspective, but then when I went and looked back at the recording, it seemed okay. So it still is a little choppy on my end. I'm just gonna have to hope that on the recording side it's fluid and it's not as bad. I mean, I do this at 30 frames anyways, and I've been kind of messing with OBS's settings a little bit as far as like bit rates and all those kinds of things, but for right now, I'm just gonna kind of go with what I got, and then after I make this video, have a look at it. Again, it's still a learning process for me. I'm still very new at this. I do notice I got another subscriber, and it's somebody that has their settings to where it doesn't notify me, so I don't know who you are, but hey, thanks for subscribing if you see this video. That was cool. And of course, like, you know, people like videos from time to time and check them out, and that's always appreciated as well. So thanks again for all that. I know I try to say in the beginning is like, hey, like, favorites, or you know, like, subscribe, ring the bell, but I know some people do, some people don't. Some people, they kind of tune out when YouTubers say that sort of stuff, and I just say it because it's kind of like you're supposed to. But all right, so she has a whole bunch of berries here. She's going to go carry those back. I'm going to increase her speed a little bit here, so we're not waiting forever. She sets those down, and I'm definitely going to restrict those because berries, it's not as good, of course, as like some of your grains and things that you grow, but they still last 14 days, which is a season in this game. That's like an entire season. And so they're sort of like an intermediate term shelf-stable food. Like definitely your grains. This is a whole thing where if you play in a scenario where you do not have access to electricity or refrigeration, the way you sort of deal with that is you can stockpile grains as well as ultimately pemmican. But you learn to use foods that give you a long-term stability, and then only you consume the stuff that's going to spoil first. Oh, and I forgot to turn her settings to where she didn't do that. Shoot, she used that drug. Well, I guess she's gonna have fun, so good for her. I guess that was a mistake. I really wanted to save that for a more dire circumstance. That was a big mistake. I might as well do that now while I'm oh, and she has chemical interest, so I think that causes some issues when I try to set these things up. So darn, that was my mistake. But I forget. I'm gonna have to off stream go back in and read up on some websites on how to do this again, because there's a specific way to set this up, and I'll revisit this again. But you can make this so it's sort of they'll only do drugs if their mood dips below a certain point. They'll only do drugs at a certain interval, so they're not doing it too often and getting addicted. It's a pity that I forgot to set that up, because that previous raid, that was one of the really nice things we got from it, was that pawn that raided us had a little bit of wake up on them. Why is she making so many arrows? It's not supposed to be that many. It's supposed to be many. Oh, it's because it's not seeing it because it's not in a stockpile. That is my mistake. Fix that. All right, so what we will do, we will just make a big giant stockpile in here, but for the time being we're just going to tell the game we don't want anything in that stockpile. See, you have to do this. This is something I didn't realize when I first started playing this game, and every now and then I still forget it, like I just did. So she sat here and she made a whole bunch of arrows, and I told her to drop these on the floor. Whenever I have pawns craft stuff, I generally want them to drop it right on the floor, and then other pawns that might be haulers or whatever will tend to take care of, you know, where the item is supposed to go. But in this case, she made way too many arrows, and the reason she did that is because as she kept dropping this on the floor itself in here wasn't counted as a stockpile, so she did not register that we had these arrows. She thought we still had 0. So the bill that I set up was make stone arrows as long as we have 20. Now I'm wondering, why is she still wanting to make it reset itself? Oh, right there's, maybe it's just because it's right on top of that game of well, I'm not totally sure what I screwed up there. Now she should not make it. Still gonna make one though, because she's a little bit up. So I'll have to double check how I've messed that up potentially. Not a big deal though. So now she's going to go around and building some of this stuff, which, oh darn it, already we have a raid. We only have one of those traps up. See how many we got. They are attacking immediately. It's only one, and he has he does have a good backpack, even though it's in a really poor condition. This will still give us a little bit of ability to carry stuff once our other is worn out. He does not have a very good gear. What is his so we outmatch him this way. Darn, and these are two kind of killer things. So this is not a pawn again, and I think we've had 3 raids, and we've had 3 pawns that we didn't want, even though they died anyways. I mean, the industrious isn't bad. The trigger happy actually isn't bad. The fact that he really likes to shoot, I mean, that's nice. He's a good cook. That would be great. He's good, but the fact he's not willing to do dumb labor and he will not firefight is really tough, because it can be so awful if you're in a raid and, like, let's say your other pawns are disabled and you have this one guy and he's up, and then your whole base burns down because this guy won't firefight or whatever. But I will say, I mean, the shooting and the cooking, those are really, the cooking would give us a big jump. He does have intellectual as well, even though it's low. It is a burning passion. And we do need a researcher eventually. He's got decent medical too, even though there's no passion to it. Do a little bit of plants. He's also terrible at social, and she is as well, if I'm not mistaken. Mongoose is not a good social. I mean, if somehow we can incapacitate this guy, and if we can incapacitate him and recruit him, I mean, he's not an ideal pawn by any sense at all. I'm going to have her build this one, but just you hate where especially if you only have 2 pawns, it's really tough when one of them has, like, especially dumb labor too, because you want your pawns to be able to clean and to haul stuff around. And if she's the only one that's able to do it, and this Joker, we're kind of in a rough spot though. So let's see here, how close is it? I think she'll get that done. Good. Okay. He is hungry, but that's not a big issue. We're going to one good shot. Nice. And we'll have her duck into her doorway here. Oh, and it missed him. Darn, I thought that was going to hit him. Snapshot. Got him. Good. It bleeding out in 4 hours. So we got him to where if we can stick him one more time with an arrow shot, or possibly and he doesn't got good melee skill. He doesn't have, I'm gonna go for it here. We got snapshot on, so she's gonna pop another shot off before he gets up to her, I think. Oh darn it, she missed. Okay. And so now he's barreling in with this, he's bleeding bad. Hit him in the torso and the liver. So I mean, he is like, if we just don't get messed up bad here. And this was, I mean, she took this, and I kind of didn't want her to, but hey, she's got this little bit of movement speed buff, so she could have been a little more maneuverable if I wanted her to kite and things, but I think that might help her a little bit with melee too. I can't remember. So if we wanted to kill this guy, we would do the knife, because he's already losing a lot of blood. He's about to go down, and we could probably kill him off, but I'm gonna go for the club, and this still could be fatal. I mean, he could die anyways, no matter what we do here. But this, I think the club, if I'm not mistaken too, let me double check real quick. It has a better parrying, melee parrying plus 15, and what is the knife? Oh, plus 15, it's the same. But the club, at the very least, with this guy already bleeding badly, being in a lot of pain, yeah, he's in medium pain. He's in a rough spot. If we can maybe clock him good once or twice with this club without taking some really serious damage ourselves, he's going to go down, and we can potentially save him. I don't know. I think I still have some issues with, like, the mods I have. Oh darn, he got us. We have bruises now. Oh good, we stunned him. And I mean, he's got to be in a really rough state right now. Come on. Go. Got another good one. He's got to be going down here. He's in severe pain. He's going to get a pain a shock threshold, and he's getting some hits on us though. This is giving us some good melee. And his manipulation is very poor now, so now he's much less likely to score hits on us. He'll still probably score 1 on us, maybe. Oh, good, we got him. And let's double check ourselves, make sure. Okay, we're kind of beat up a little here, but he only had that club, so not a big deal. He is going to bleed out in 3 hours, but that's plenty of time actually. We do not have any heal root, so this is going to be pretty dicey. Boy, this room's very dirty. Just because it's a dirt floor in there, I think. Well, I mean, I don't want to throw him in this kitchen and screw up my little zones I have all set up. So this is a little bit premature, and this is not an ideal guy to recruit, but kind of like beggars can't be choosers. It still would greatly enhance our chance to survive. So I am, against my better judgment, I'm going to throw a sleeping spot in here, make this for prisoners. We are going to pop over back before we forget, equipped our recurve bow. We are going to capture this guy. A group of travelers passing by. Come on. All right. So he's bleeding. He's beat up. I think she's going to be able to stop the bleeding. He still might get an infection and die, but at least she's going to get some medical. Okay, she's going to get some medical boost from doing this. So even if he winds up getting an infection and dying, not the end of the world. And there are some things we can do for him to maybe improve his chances. Come on, get it done, get it done. Now he's up to 22. And we're going to have her get his wounds tended, at least his the bleeding stopped. There we go. And now, before she continues on doing all that nonsense, we are going to have her clean this room to the best she can, so it's not like as filthy as it is. It's still going to be filthy, dirty in here, but if we can clean this room, we'll reduce the chance of infection a little bit. Go and oh, she's tending herself. That's fine. I think when she's done tending to her wounds, I'm going to have her eat. And I'm going to have him just be here in a pretty bad state. And then she'll get up later and heal him later. He needs to eat as soon as she got plenty more to go. So I'm gonna go send her in here to eat first. She's so close that she's gonna start to really freak out by not having any food. And how old is this one? This is one thing I wish that there was a mod for. Maybe there is. When a pawn has a meal in their inventory, you cannot see when it's going to spoil. So I don't know if this one is better than using one of these. So I'm just going to use it though. And she's going to eat at the table. Yes. So she's not going to get the debuff. Good. Now she's, I'm going to let her finish tending her wounds. And then I'm going to have her come and feed him and tend his wounds. So, I mean, again, he's not a great pawn for us, but he's better than nothing. He's a guy that if she goes down, he can possibly save her life. He can do some good medical stuff, so he's not bad that way. And this could potentially be a big thing for us to get this guy recruited to our colony and to actually, is she going to, yeah, take. taking it. And nope, I want you to feed him. His food. I mean, I'm going to put, we don't even have any medicine, so I'm going to do that. And social, or where is it? Prisoner. I'm going to put him, I just, for the time being, I'm going to put, well, yeah, recruit is fine. Cause so here's the deal with this. This guy, because he's from our rivals, the Slicers of Chaos, and if I go to the map real quick here, let me let's take a second to generate the planet. I forgot about this. He is this is us. Where are those red slicers? Is this them? No. Is this them right here? These must be the red. No. Oh. These red slicers of chaos, where are they located? I don't understand. Huh. Oh, way over here. Okay, so here are our buddies over here, and these are a cannibal camp, and if I'm not mistaken, based on his clothing and things, they are they're like modern people. They're like civilized, if you want to call it that. And we, being tribal, we literally like don't speak this guy's language. So when we interact with him and when we talk with him, when we try to reduce his resistance, it's very, very difficult for us because we have to like just use sort of like gestures and kind of charades and, you know, just give him some food and mimic like eat it, and over time he'll come to trust us, and we might learn some of his language and he might learn some of ours, and ultimately like that's what you're thinking is happening, like as resistance is being reduced. But he is very he's going to be very a hard guy to recruit, and he'll probably make an escape attempt. So, I mean, this is not an ideal prison setup. He still might die from infection too. I think we'll find out like within next, you know, within 12 hours or something if he develops an infection. I think he's going to be okay though, because like a lot of times it happens pretty quick after you treat the wound, and it's been a while now. So she's going to get him patched up, and then before she goes to sleep, I'm going to have her feed him. Because he is he's super hungry, and it doesn't matter now because he's still like he's messed up, so he's not going to be getting up and trying to run away. Oh, he did get an infection. So at the very least, she is going to she can tend to that, but it's not going to he's gonna die most likely. So she tended to that. And I'm gonna feed him. This is so crazy. Like blood right there, so yeah. Nice. Okay, and what we should really do, I mean, we should go get one of these other beds really, but this one's right here. And I don't want to put him in a room where there's wood, because if he tries to make a prison escape, it's essentially giving him a weapon. So we are going to throw him in, we're going to put our bed in this room. We're going to move him into that bed because that will give him a little bit more of a fighting chance against the infection. There is a oh, she's going to bed. No, you need to get up to move this. Whoops, don't. Now, bed, deconstruct. Now she needs to pick him up, throw him in bed. Oh, she's gonna run over here and take this bed. Looks like a good bed. No, it's not. It's not a good bed. But we will take this bed now. We intended to way in the beginning of this playthrough. So at the very least, she's going to come over here and move this bed, and then that's going to be her bed, and we'll see how he's going to do. he's still all messed up as far as being bruised, but that's not a big deal. We're just looking at his infection. Yeah, 4% immunity, and where is the... I forget how to read this. It's been a long time. Infection 6.5. Yeah, so he's not doing well. Yeah, I think he's gonna die. I want you first to prepare the bed because you're all messed up too. Hopefully that bed helps you. There is a wiki post and some videos all about what the different healing rates of the beds based on their quality is. You can see, like, for this wooden bed here that's an awful quality, it's 107% immunity gain factor just sleeping in a bed. And for the steel one, 107. So yeah, it's the same. That's why I wanted to get him in a bed as quick as I could. He still might die, but at least you can see he's at 9% immunity and the infection is 10%. He might pull through this as long as we tend it as soon as we can. Just because he's in that bed, but I don't think he's going to. Let's see how close our heal route is. 57%, not close enough. Darn. And did she treat all of her stuff? Yes, she did. Good. So she's healing up. He is probably going to die, but at least she'll get a couple more tendings of this infection under her belt, and we'll get a little more medical increase. It's close, so you never know if one of these heal routes happens to... $17, $15. It's when is the tending run off again? 10 hours. So he's going to be resting for quite a while. Good on that. Yeah, he's not... He really needs the heal route. The next tending, and she is about ready to eat again. They're in there to go eat. Now she's gonna go grab some more arrows, and she is going to tend him. Oh, so she's gonna help his club injuries, all his bruises. And 27. She needs heal root, or he needs heal root, and I can't harvest it yet. Don't know what the percentage threshold is. I really wish we had heal root, because this is a pawn. I mean, he's not great, but we could have recruited him. We managed to hit him with our arrow. Looks like he's gonna die. Bad. And the problem too is I think the time will run out to where he might die, and then she will get a mood debuff. And I don't want to, but I'm inclined to try to keep him alive. He's so close, and if I can somehow get one of these heal roots, I guess they must have to be more than 60. I was hoping it was 60%. Maybe it's 70. So I think this guy's a goner. Got a major infection now, and he's not healing fast enough. He needs some herbal medicine, and I don't have any. Feed him before he goes to what is she doing? She's gonna rest. She doesn't want to feed him yet. And apologies for a moment of quiet there, but letting the I'm just enjoying the music. Game has a wonderful soundtrack. I actually really love when there are longer raids because I love the kind of the whistling soundtrack track where it's sort of like a raid song. It's very cool, very like Old West showdown. Let's see here. So 42:39. Man. Well, note to self, rainforest, pretty tough start because of the lack of heal root. Man, I should have got that heal root in even earlier. Something to kind of learn for next time. This might not be the total end. So he's gonna survive at least until maybe the next time we can tend him. Probably a couple more tendings. So maybe one of these heal roots will be ready by then. At least I can try to harvest some, and I'll probably lose a few. But I can make that choice. This is an expensive. God, this guy's kind of an expensive pawn. The amount of time that I'm devoting to tending him. I've given him a couple meals. He is still going to be at death's door, and don't know if these are going to mature fast enough. So rest again. How close is this? This is, so we'll need to butcher this eventually. Hopefully she'll be all healed up. Well, she's still pretty bruised up on some of these. Few she's ready, but definitely her right clavicle. Man, she probably almost broke that. Looks like a real injury. Oh, we got some rhinos. That's nice. Blood all over the place. Okay, how's he doing here? Is 56. Yeah, he's like 3% behind. He needs actual medicine. Oh, and we can harvest these now. So when is his next tending going to be? Ending in 10 hours. This is going to be close. So this is cool. I'm trying to sort of aim for these episodes to be about 45 minutes. And I think like right around the time I'm going to want to end this episode, we'll either see if this guy makes it or if he dies. And if he makes it, it's likely he's going to be a part of our colony. So say hello to Keith. But if he dies, we were close, but we didn't quite have all of our ducks in a row. But I think we might have a shot here to actually save this guy. Just got 8 more hours. How's she doing? She needs to eat again. Okay, so get up, darling. Go eat. And 19 hours. What is her... her manipulation is not great, so I'm going to let her rest. But I need to make sure she butchers this in time before it goes bad. Yep, food. Okay, so good. Well, I mean, hey, that's not bad. We survived that raid pretty well. I mean, she popped him once with an arrow, then she got him down with a club, and she took some damage, but it was like superficial stuff, bruising and stuff. That's not a big issue. It takes a little while to heal up when it's a bad bruise, but she made it to level 4 shooting. I saw that right when she hit him. She did get a level in melee, and her medical, we probably got a few hundred points in that at least, probably more, because with all the self-tending she had to do and then tending him. That's 4 hours, and he's hungry. Thing is going to be 15 hours. So, okay, good. She's going to take the meal she has in her inventory and feed him that. That's perfect. Yeah, I know he's really bad. He must be up to, was it 80% when that triggers? 75, it must be like over 75 or something. When is the tending? One more time. 3 hours. So I was trying to wait to see if the sun could shine a little bit more, but and how bad is her moving? 76. So yeah, we might burn through a few of these heal roots, but I'm gonna wait until just about 2 hours. There we go. And come on, let's get let's pray to our in Jesus and see if we can get ourselves a heal root here. Oh, did we not? Darn, we did not. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, heal root. Man, we're striking out here, aren't we? Yep. This is extremely wasteful. This guy still could die after we do this. We seriously not gonna manage to harvest any of these? I mean, I know we're cutting them early, but I had no idea. Oh, that one's not ready. That one is. If I was a more experienced player, I would know kind of what my... Oh, there. Good, we got one. All right, so I want her to carry that. And when is his... Oh, thought it would be ready. 2 hours. Okay, perfect. Well, excellent. He might survive. Just went away. It's going to be really close, but that herbal medicine might be just enough to pull him through. He's going to be super close, though. It's already up to about 90% for the infection, so I don't know. We might have been too late, but we did our best. There you go. Come on, have a good... oh, wait, let me... Steak. Come on, have a good tending, good tending, good tending. Really good result. Only 23. Shoot. Only time will tell. See. I think about 97% infection will know one way or the other. 96-ish will probably know if he pulls ahead with the immunity. Ooh, up to 1% different. Come on, man, you can do it. riveting gameplay watching 93 and 92%, 94. Oh, come on. I think he's going to make it. It's going to be so close. Come on, man. If it change when it goes to 97, if it hits 97 before it changes, no, I just messed up. Come on. Oh, I think he might survive. Come on. No, he's not going to. Shoot. Oh my gosh, that was so close. I mean, he was probably 10 seconds away from dying there. He developed immunity. Wow. I think that's maybe the closest I've ever seen that happen. So we did have to burn 4 of our heal root plants. But we are going to very likely have a pawn out of this unless he makes a jailbreak and escapes before we can recruit him. Is entirely possible. But man, that is huge. I mean, what an enormous deal here. So take a look. Our potential new pawn. His name is Keith Russ. He was a medical assistant in his childhood. He was a food taster in his adulthood. Unfortunately, he's incapable of dumb labor. That's a really rough thing. I normally wouldn't take a pawn like this, firefighting as well. But we really need a partner for Mongoose. He is trigger happy and he is industrious. That's very nice. So he will be a quick worker. And he's going to be a really good pawn as far as being a shooter. He'll be a good hunter. He's just not going to be able to haul anything that he kills, which is kind of a bummer. He's also able to do some intellectual stuff. So this pawn, not actually a bad pawn, because you can see him. He can do his cooking task. When he's done with his cooking, he can either have hunting queued up, or he'll go and do some research. So you can see he has a pretty set job path, and the fact that he's pretty decent at medical as well, versus Mongoose, who is, she's only a 4. She does have a minor passion in it, but he's a nice complement to her, except for the dumb labor and firefighting, but the refusal to firefight. But the fact that he survived, I mean, what a win. We're gonna keep feeding him, try to keep him as happy as we can. He is in a miserable room here, not much we can do about that. We can try to clean this room out, maybe put him in here instead, but that's still going to be a bad room. Ultimately, we're hoping that we can break his resistance and recruit him before he tries to escape, and he probably will try to escape before we can recruit him, but we're going to try as mightily as we can to keep him. She needs to eat. Gonna go bad here, so let me, oh, I must have never, yeah, that was my bad. I should end the video here, but let me just do this so we can see that the Mongoose is all set for the for what's to come. So she's gonna butcher this thing, and taking that there. That's a little weird. No, do not do that. I hope she didn't take a food debuff because, or a mood debuff because of that. All right. Sometimes it's hard to click on the thing you want to click on. I want to click on the meat. There we go. No, stop. Ball. Now. There we go. Have her make 2 so she can feed the prisoner. She'll eat. Doing. Ready. Eat. All right, so you can see Mongoose, she successfully captured Keith. He is imprisoned. He survived a very close call with an infection. He almost died, literally. He was probably like 10 seconds away from dying. And we got super lucky that our heal root was ready to harvest, just barely, and we managed to harvest one of them, and he barely pulled through. But you can see she's doing her best to talk to him. They are both pretty miserable at social skills. You can see she's not very good. So this is going to be a very long process. He might escape before we actually can recruit him. But still, a very nice 5th episode, I think. We did a nice job. If you're gonna go chill out here and sit in this burned out field for some reason and look at the sky, she's gonna think about the future. She's got plenty of food here to harvest. She's cooked tons. All this other stuff already set aside. I do need to delete this because I don't want her putting stuff in here that doesn't belong in here. So yeah, that was episode 5 of the Rimworld Up in Smoke series. I'm gonna call this this one, I think, Why Can't We Be Friends? Because now we do have a guy that they keep attacking us. We managed to capture one of them. We're hopefully going to recruit this guy, and it will give us a big boost as far as our safety and numbers. And I hope you enjoyed that. I think I might make another video right after this one, so maybe my energy level won't change that much, or maybe I'll be a little more laid back in the next one because I've already been playing for some. But I do really appreciate if you stuck around to watch this long. I know it's a long video. I try to make them 40-45 minutes, and this one's a little longer than I intended, just because at the very end I wanted to butcher that food. Be sure to check out the next video where we're going to keep working on this hard nut to crack, this Keith, and see if we can recruit him. Thanks again for checking out Mongoose and her struggles to survive here in this Naked Brutality tribal start. And let me know what you think about our chances now that we have this second guy. Do you think he's going to escape before we re-recruit him, or do you think that we might actually manage to get him before he breaks out of jail here and runs off? If you enjoyed this video, of course, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't already. It, of course, helps the channel. Lets me know that people are enjoying and watching the videos. And otherwise, thanks again for watching. Take care, and I will see you later.